Commissioner Hanks stepped out.
I'll get used to it.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, May 8th, 2018. It is 12:06 p.m. We are in the Commission chambers, and I call this Fire Rescue District Governing Body special meeting to order. Present are Commissioner Luke, Commissioner McDowell, Commissioner Hanks, Vice Mayor Yates, City Attorney Slayton, City Manager Lear, City Clerk Atkins, and Deputy Clerk Pito, and we also have Recording Secretary Hal, as well as Interim Police Chief Morales. All right.
Could you just announce that the mayor is absent?
And the Mayor Carasone is not present and will not be attending today. If you would, please make sure that your phones are on silent. And today is a very solemn day. We learned that on Sunday, former Commissioner Buddy Hughes did pass on. And we certainly are all affected by that. We're always used to Buddy being here, and she will be here, and we will hear her words as she always gets up to say her public comment, Buddy Hughes, and she hasn't moved. We will remember that, and she has moved to a better place. And with that, I'd like us all, if we're able, to stand for a moment of silence in honor of former Commissioner Buddy Hughes, family and friends. We surely will miss her. And then I'd like to have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Hanks.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We love you, Buddy. All right. Commission, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Go ahead.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Okay. City Clerk, I'm not seeing anything on the screen here, so do you want me to refresh again?
You can try to refresh, yes.
Okay. Okay. All right, so I have the motion by Commissioner McDowell to approve the agenda, seconded by Commissioner Luke. And with that, please, everybody vote. And that is approved 4-0. All right, and we do not have any public comment. And so we are moving on to item number 3, public hearings. And I do need a motion to read ordinance number 2018-18 by title only. Moved by Commissioner Luke to read ordinance number 2018-18 by title only, seconded by Commissioner McDowell. Please vote. And that is approved 4-0. City Clerk, would you please read ordinance 2018-18 by title only? Thank you.
Ordinance number 2018-18, an ordinance of the City of Northport, Florida, amending the Fire Rescue District budget for fiscal year 2017-18 by providing for supplemental appropriations in the amounts identified in Exhibit A, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, and providing an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you, City Clerk. City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. This budget amendment has a few items on it, the biggest of which is the funding for the union contract that was approved a little while back. The other two items on there, one is for a software purchase to replace the current software we have that has been bought and then bought again and then bought, I think, a third time, and we're just not getting the service that we need anymore. The new company isn't meeting the standards we need, so in order to make sure our firefighters have the software they need to do their jobs, we're pursuing a new software. And the third item is the repair of the driveway at Fire Station 84. A portion of it is having a little issue related to the cisterns that were installed and the piping under it. But all three of those items, if you need any more detailed explanation, the fire chief is here as well. He can help me explain those last two probably better than I can.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? I do see the light on here. Commissioner Luke, go ahead.
Just to clarify, the software that was being purchased over and over, that's because of a company acquisition, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and I don't see any other questions. And just to, for clarity, as you had mentioned with the purchase and repurchase and new purchase, the company is only being paid for the amounts that we've expended for the time period. If you can just explain that as far as from the budgeting of this.
Yes. Scott Titus for the Fire Rescue District. So we are doing,
Correct?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just want to clarify.
So far today, the meeting's early. The reason we're doing a budget amendment is we knew we've had problems with the software company that had been working up to, and it was our intent to change over in October. There would have been some parallel time after October 1st to do that. Firehouse Software has been bought out by another company, and they are providing less and less service because they're going to sunset the Firehouse program itself. So one of the things that we've done, and the reason we're asking to do this now, is it's about a 120-day process to change over. That's to take the new program, make sure that templates are put in place so that we're gathering all the information that we need to be able to get that software onto our hardware. And we'd be running kind of parallel systems in the meantime while we do training, back up, make sure that everything's operating smoothly, and then discontinue the old program as we move on with the new program. That process is about 120 days. So we feel like now, because of some of the things that have happened, it's absolutely imminent that we need to do it now because there's just some data issues and things like that that we're not comfortable with. And so we still won't have a complete changeover probably until October, maybe even a little bit after October. So there will still be a little bit of carryover, but not 120 days worth, which is really what our concern became very quickly. IT, it's been vetted through IT. They support doing this. They've realized that there's an issue. So
Right.
that answers your question.
I believe so. So out of the money budgeted for this fiscal year, this additional, it covers an overlap period that wasn't anticipated?
Absolutely.
All right. I
So
just
this
wanted
covers
to
the
kind of-
software perk for the new software. We just have to sign on board quicker than we thought we were going to have to.
Very good. Thank you. Commissioner McDowell.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for the field trip and for your extensive answers to my questions. Thank you very much for that. Just for the record, if you could explain, are you going to have the entire system go live during this period, this 120 days? Or are you going to do it like one house at a time, or how are you going to do that?
Well, Chief Bennett and obviously Amy, who is our Human Systems Administrator, has been doing a great job. But more than likely what will happen is we will build the framework. They'll work together to build that framework, get that template. And our surrounding communities, Sarasota and Charlotte County, are using that same new program. So I think we'll be taking their templates, make sure that they work for us, that we're gathering the data we need. And that will probably go live in the stations running parallel at the same time. However, like I said, we'll still be running the old program to make sure if there's any challenges or issues. One of the things we found out when we implemented the program that we have now is because of site location, because of connectivity issues, and because of everything else, sometimes you can run it in one place and you don't necessarily have the same results you do everywhere else. So really the thing to do is as we get them up and running is to have it running at all 5 houses and make sure that everybody's getting trained, getting used to operating on it at the same time. Because it's a big change on scene for the paramedics too as they operate. So, okay.
Well, I hope this new program is going to work much more efficiently than the old, and thank you for getting that taken care of
Thank you
in
very
an
much.
expedient manner.
We had a lot of great people working on it, so thank you.
Thank you. I'll make a motion then.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Vice Mayor.
Go ahead.
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 2018-18 to the
continue?
second reading,
To continue it?
to continue the second reading. City Manager, what date?
This will be on, what's,
Are we
May
going to do May
22nd.
22nd?
second, thank
Okay.
you. I'm trying to, today
Want to
was.
start over?
Sure.
I'll make a motion to move ordinance number 2018-18 to second reading on May 22nd of 2018 for the Fire Rescue District.
Second.
Okay, a motion by Commissioner McDowell to continue ordinance number 2018-18 to the May 22nd Fire Rescue District Governing Body meeting for second reading, and that is seconded by Commissioner Hanks. Any comments, Commissioner McDowell?
No. Thank you for getting that done.
Commissioner Hanks?
Good.
Okay, all right. And I don't see any other comments. I'll just add that the software is critical for our public safety, so there's absolutely no doubt about it, and appreciate everybody's work to get us what we need on that. And also this budget amendment, we can see, which City Manager, I greatly appreciate that I don't have to ask anymore for the fund balance remaining after, this, because that is very helpful for us to see. And we can certainly see that with these amendments to the budget, that we still are in excellent financial shape and still have the emergency reserves plus. So, and it also helps the public also know, as we're doing these things that we need, that the funding in the city is in great shape, and the district. So thank you for that. And with that, let's vote. And that is approved 4-0. Thank you very much. And now we are moving on to the consent agenda. Does anybody wish to pull anything?
Not much to pull.
Make a motion, we accept the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, seeing nobody wants to pull anything, I have a motion by Commissioner Luke to approve the consent agenda as presented, seconded by Commissioner McDowell. Commissioner Luke, do you have anything? Comments or
No,
anything?
I just wish them good luck with the transition for the software. That's always a rough time.
Commissioner McDowell, you have anything on this? Okay, seeing nothing else then, please vote. And that is approved 4-0. And that brings us to number 5, public comment. We still have no public comment. And any commission communications for this fire rescue meeting? Seeing none. Any administrative? Nope, seeing nothing from the administrators, then we are adjourned.
Should have gone automatically.
I don't think anything happens automatically with the system. Let's see. Okay.
Everybody has refreshed their screen and they should be in road and drainage.
Everybody good?
But it gave a message to leave the previous meeting so you can join the second one online.
Sometimes it does. Everybody's isn't.
Stated.
Automatically does it.
Pretty good?
I'm good.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. It is Tuesday, May 8th, 2018. We are in the Commission Chambers, and I call this Road and Drainage District Governing Body special meeting to order. It is 12:20 p.m. Present are Commissioner Luke, Commissioner McDowell, Commissioner Hanks, Vice Mayor Yates, City Attorney Slayton, City Manager Lear, City Clerk Atkins, Deputy Clerk Pito, and Recording Secretary Hale. Also have Interim Chief, Police Chief Morales. He's with us there in the back. And just for the record, Mayor Carasone is not present, will not be present at this meeting. And if you would, just make sure your phones are on silent. And we are, since we already did the pledge, we are to item number 1, which is approval of the agenda. I'll accept the motion.
So moved.
I'll make-
Second. Go ahead.
Okay. Who pressed the motion button?
I think she.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Seconded.
All right, so I have the motion by Commissioner McDowell to approve the agenda as presented, seconded by Commissioner Luke. Please vote. And that is approved 4-0. Item number 2, public comment. We have no public comment cards. And we are on to item number 3A. And I do need a motion to read ordinance number 2018-19 by title only.
So moved.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Luke to read ordinance number 2018-19 by title only, seconded by Commissioner McDowell. Seeing no discussion, please vote. And that is approved 4-0. City Clerk, would you please read ordinance number 2018-19 by title only?
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Ordinance number 2018-19, an ordinance of the City of Northport, Florida, amending the Road and Drainage District budget for fiscal year 2017-18 by providing for supplemental appropriations in the amounts identified in Exhibit A, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, and providing an effective date. Thank you.
Thank you, City Clerk. City Manager?
Mayor, this is the budget amendment for last fiscal, or for the current fiscal year for Road and Drainage District. This includes 3 items, one being the methodology funding, because the amount budgeted was not enough to do a full methodology, as well as the mailings and everything that are required with it. Also, for Rostan, which is our debris management monitoring firm, that is a result of Irma. We keep getting continuing questions from FEMA, so their costs are going up to the city, which means that we need to amend the budget. Please keep in mind, we will be submitting that for reimbursement through FEMA at the end. And the third item is that the mowing contract for finished mowing came in higher than anticipated. It's a total budget amendment of $427,203. As you mentioned, the fund balance report is in there, which shows that we do have the fund balance above the reserve requirement to fund this.
Thank you, City Manager. Any questions? Okay. I just have, you did mention as far as we're going to submit this, is the entirety of this amount that is going towards the work for Irma? Is that all of what this is for?
For the Rostan item, yes, this is all for Irma, so we will
Okay.
submit everything that we are charged
Okay.
for reimbursement to FEMA.
And have we received any reimbursements yet?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Probably 10 years from now, we might.
Keep in mind, I started here in 2012, or no, 2008, excuse me. And at that point, we were still receiving reimbursements for Charlie.
Which was back
4.
someday.
Was that one paid off yet?
Yes, we have received our final reimbursement from Charlie. I believe that we got this somewhere around 2010. It's not a fast process.
And they don't, provide the interest, right?
They keep the interest for you.
Okay.
They hang on to that.
So kind.
They keep us very interested, I'll tell you that.
Yes. We do what we can, and hopefully someday the processes will be more streamlined. But I did have another question. You mentioned as far as the mowing contract. So this amount, that contract was already approved. So this provides that additional funding for the additional services that basically were added that were not necessarily anticipated or built into the annual fiscal year amount that had
Correct.
previously been approved. Okay. All right. Seeing no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Vice Mayor, I move to approve ordinance number 2018-19 to second reading.
And I'm sure you're meaning continuing the ordinance to that second. Okay, I thought so.
Second reading.
Okay.
Second.
All right, I have a motion by Commissioner Hanks to continue ordinance number 2018-19 to the May 22nd, 2018 Road and Drainage District meeting for a second hearing, and that is seconded by Commissioner Luke. Commissioner Hanks, do you have anything on this? Okay, Commissioner Luke. All right, seeing no other comments, let's vote. And that is approved 4-0. Thank you. Moving on to item number 4A, and this is for the change order 1 to the purchase agreement 47578 with Stantec Consulting Services, Inc. in an estimated amount of $67,826. Buddy, thank you to City Manager for putting that in there because she was always very adamant about having the amounts in our agenda items. So, City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll call Ms. Belia up. So this was the item that was continued from our last meeting that we had on this. This is again for the methodology. The majority of this change order does relate to the mailing. I know that there were questions about the hours that were charged on there, and we did clarify, first of all, we will only be charged for the hours that they are actually in the meetings. The mailing, the other question was, does it include the postage? And the answer to that was yes, it does. And I'll have Ms. Belia here if there's any other further questions that anybody would like to ask.
Okay. Is everybody good with all the clarifications in the backup material?
I'll make a motion if nobody
Hold
else
on,
has any
hold on.
questions.
I just wanted to say I love the PowerPoint.
1 half page.
All right, Commissioner McDowell.
I make a motion to approve the purchase agreement 47578 with Stantec Consulting Services in the amount of $67,826.
Second.
Motion as stated by Commissioner McDowell, seconded by Commissioner Hanks. Commissioner McDowell, you have any comments or?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, while I'm not convinced there might be a small overlap about the meeting times, I am very happy to know that they are going to be billed only for the time that they're going to be helping us at those meetings. So thank you for that clarification. I do appreciate it. Thank you, staff.
Commissioner Hanks, do you have anything?
Good.
Okay. The only thing I want to share with the commission is that, in here we can see in the backup material in the scope of work what Stantec is going to be doing. And I just really am, always have concerns about these things with methodologies. And then because the methodology then also has a component of rates and recommended rates, which is not really incorporated in the methodology, but it's a process and they give you an overview. I'm always concerned about a 10-year, and you can see in here that what they will be doing is a 10-year revenue sufficiency analysis. And just bear in mind, as we get the results of this, that recommended increases, I believe 10 years is way too far out, because beyond the first year, we don't necessarily know exactly what's going to happen. So I just wanted to share that, that's what they're doing. Typically, it's a 5-year window. This goes now to 10 years, and we just want to be mindful of what we're looking at when those suggested increases or changes and adjustments would be presented to the commission. Because just for the taxpayers, I would say being conscious of that, we want to definitely make sure that whatever decisions we make as far as those recommendations, that we keep that in mind. So I am going to support it, though I disagree with the 10-year. I am going to support it and certainly have expressed my concerns. All right. Seeing nothing else, let's go ahead and vote. And that is approved 4-0. So, City Manager, you'll be hearing lots of my comments as I dig into whatever those recommendations might be. All right. Yes.
You did get the suggested things for them to look at for the methodology that I emailed to you?
Yes, I forwarded that on to the department already.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
All right, we are to item number 5. We only have one item on there, 5A, on the consent agenda. Unless anybody wants to pull that, I will entertain a
Can I-
motion. Yes.
Before we approve it, there were some changes that were just made this morning, so do we have to say as amended? Because what's presented here is not the same ones that were just amended.
We have made the changes.
Okay,
Feel free, just for clarity,
Okay.
for the public, you know, are you saying it was different than what was in the backup material?
correct, because it just got changed today.
And those were sent out to all of the commissioners.
Okay, if they got sent out today, then I can tell you I have not reviewed them.
It was just little
Little
typo,
tiny, yeah, small changes.
just like usually is done at almost
As a
every
typo,
meeting.
not
Yes.
content.
Just
No,
little.
it was just
Okay,
very minor changes.
certainly feel free to include that in the motion. So entertain a motion.
Move to accept the consent agenda, recognizing that there were changes made within the minutes of 18-302.
Second.
Okay, the motion is stated by Commissioner Luke, seconded by Commissioner McDowell. Any other comments or anything? Seeing none, let's go ahead and vote. All right, and that is approved 4-0. We, excuse me, have no public comment. And commissioners, do you have anything for road and drainage as far as communications? Seeing none. Any administrative reporting? Seeing none. All right, so with that, then we are adjourned.
Good job.
2 meetings in 32.